Hey, you. Where do you think you're going?
What business is it of yours?
Hey, I was just messing with you. Gets a bit bored. Well, I'd stay. Hang on. Although
I'm just taking a look around.
just messing. Have to make my own entertainment. Gets a bit boring round here. Apart from the rotworms eating people. I'd stay on the walkway and not go too far out into the swamp. Believe me, being eaten by those creatures is not the way a man should go. Hang on, I think I've got a map somewhere you can have. Although by the looks of you, you could do with a better weapon.
Where can I get a better weapon?
Depends on what you're after. Some swear by a good blade. Others prefer the heft of an axe. I'm a hunter, so I favour a bow and arrow. I've got a couple of nice specimens here, actually. For the right price, I'm sure I could part with one or two.
What do you hunt in the swamp?
Less and less. There are only a few beasties. They may look unappetizing, but you'd be surprised what our cook can do. About the only thing left big enough to feed us all is this large worm over to the west. But he's a big fella. I really need help to take him down. Probably a bit of help to keep him down after I've eaten him too.
How about I help you hunt this worm?
Oh, that's good of you. Tell you what, if we kill that thing together, I'll give you 30 gold. I hope you're well prepared. Don't want your death on my conscience.
I'm new around here. Got swept in with the tide. What can you tell me about this place?
Ah, I see. Well, then there are a few things you should know. This whole swamp area, from here to the temple in the north, it's run by Don Esteban, our leader. I wouldn't mess with him if I were you. He's got some fighters working for him that'd break your jaw as happy as look at you.
What can you tell me about the temple?
Came up from the ground about the time these storms started, and all these beasts came out of it. Never seen the like before. Indescribable they are. Our fighters soon sorted them out. I doubt there's much still alive in there. Well, apart from the Don. He's moved into the temple now. Don't see him very often. No one really knows what he's doing in there. Me? I say hunt, kill, and don't ask too many questions.
So, you haven't always been here in the swamp?
Nah, we used to have the whole of Harbour Town until the Inquisition came. All their magic and robes and stuff. They pushed us out here. Between you and me, I think the Don's pride took a bit of a knock. He hasn't been the same since. Most folks hate this place, but I like the fresh air. New things to hunt. Always felt too cooped up in town.
What are rotworms?
They can't really be described. Indescribable they are. They're like giant, rotting worms. You can ask Ricardo in the camp.
What else can you tell me about the Inquisition?
Same as everyone else, really. Don't get too close to them, or you'll find yourself dragged off to that monastery. They're not right in the head. I think they do something to them up there. I'm keeping well away. I advise you to do the same.
So, what's your boss doing in the temple?
I couldn't say for sure, but he's become very keen on collecting gold at the moment. He's got diggers working these ruins, and he always gives them a share. He's good like that. I think maybe he's planning on trying to take back Harbour Town. Gold commands a lot of power around here. Maybe even more than the Inquisition with their damn cult.
Let's trade. Hey.
Hey.
Any trouble today?
No.
Expecting any?
No.
Must be fun being a guard.
Not really.
What exactly do you guard in a swamp?
Flies. The smell. The dawn.
The dawn.
Back there in that temple. But my post is here. In the swamp.
Sounds like an important job. What is there round here that people need guarding from?
You must have seen them.
Seen what?
Those things.
Things?
The things from the ruins.
There are ruins everywhere.
The ones that came up from the ground. The ground is warped or something.
That's where these things are.
Yeah. They're all over that excavation site in the middle of the swamp.
And?
They make me nervous.
Why?
They're disgusting.
Uh-huh. You ever have any problems with the locals?
Locals. They give you any trouble, you just smack them around.
Or you could try talking to them. Who's in charge here?
The Don.
Who?
The Don.
Right. You don't talk much.
What do I want to talk for? I don't know you.
Where is the Don?
In the temple.
Is he religious?
Ha!
So what does he do in there?
Avoids being out here.
Getting anything out of you is like pulling teeth.
That's why I make such a good guard.
All right, let's try this question. Tell me more about these things. The ones in the excavation site.
They're disgusting. Big insect things. I wish someone would get rid of them.
I can. You must have picked up some skills to be a guard.
I know how to fight, and I can handle a crossbow.
Can you train me?
To fire a crossbow? All right. But it will cost you.
I'd need paying. Say 30 gold coins.
30? Yeah. It's worth that to get rid of those things. They're disgusting.
Keep my gold warm. I'll be back for it. I want to improve my fighting skills.
Please don't disturb me.
What are you doing up here?
Hiding.
Doesn't anyone do anything in this camp?
Look, don't get me wrong, I'm a worker. Man of the earth, me. There's nothing fancy about moving soil round, but work is what I do best.
Tell me about your work.
About digging? Well, like I say, it may be dirty work, but someone's got to do it. You fancy trying? Just look for a sandy spot in one of the excavation sites, then you stick your shovel in the ground and dig. Who knows? You might even find something.
So, what are you hiding from?
Work.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, I'd like to be working, only I can't. You see all these huge insects turned up at the excavation site. I'm not going back to work while they're still there. I like my job, but I'm not going to die for it.
Which fighters are responsible for protecting the excavation site?
Just Ricardo, but I've not seen him there for a while. Don't think he cares much about us workers.
He'll care if the work doesn't get done, and he ends up doing it. I'll take care of those insects.
You? Why not let the fighters do it? And that's what they're there for.
Do you see any here, though? I'll take care of it. I'll have a word with him.
Okay. But don't tell him I told you. He's almost as bad as those creatures.
I'm sure you have things to deal with.
Aren't you supposed to be protecting the excavation site in the swamp?
I am.
The worker, Brannan. He says he's been waiting forever for you.
I don't care about workers.
I can see why they made you a guard.
What do you want?
Man like you has clearly seen some action.
Well, you know, I don't like to boast, but I've crushed a few heads. If you want to eat here, you have to work. You want a free ride? Try those white robes at the monastery. They'll give you a free ride all the way to their excavation camps. And keep your paws off other people's stuff while you're here, or you'll lose your paws.
I don't know. What do I want?
You were looking at me.
I'm new here. I'm just getting to know people.
If you don't know I'm the best fighter in the camp, then you ain't been here long enough for me to care. Haven't you got nothing better to do?
Hey,
I've not seen you before. Who are you? A fresh-faced young man eager to experience the thrill of an outlaw's life?
maybe.
I can't think why else you'd be here. There are warm alehouses and welcoming brothels in the town. Food and indoctrination at the monastery.
Are you a woodcutter for the camp?
Just because I'm cutting wood doesn't mean I'm a woodcutter. Actually, I'm a hunter. My lads and I provide meat for the camp.
So you lead the hunters?
Normally, yeah, but as you can see, I've got vital woodcutting work to do. So right now, my hunters are running wild like free spirits. Or they think they are.
Shouldn't you get someone else to cut the wood?
I'd love to, believe me. But Brogar would nail me to a tree if I left this wood unsawn.
Brogar.
One of the Don's lieutenants, the leader of the fighters, a, shall we say, powerful, single-minded man.
And you're his personal woodcutter.
For my sins,
Why does he want you to do it?
I tangled with him, and now I have to pay. We live by Brogar's laws out here.
Brogar's laws, not the Don's.
The Don wants me to hunt, Brogar wants his fire stoked. You judge who's really in charge.
Why don't you stand up to Brogar?
Him and all his fighters, you mean?
So everyone's afraid of him.
You clearly haven't met him yet. Then you'd understand. He's over there. Go and introduce yourself. Then decide whether you'd stand up to him.
How can I become one of the Don's men?
Firstly, I'll need to tell you a couple of things. The Don's a powerful man. Well, he was. Since we've been in this swamp, he's hidden in that temple. Hasn't been out for weeks. His wife Rachel's been trying to run the camp. She's the one you need to impress if you want to meet the Don.
Rachel. Right.
Before you charge up to her, you need to be aware of...
Brogar.
You're learning.
Why can't I get to talk to the Don himself?
If you can't get Rachel on your side, maybe you could get past the guard at the temple. Maybe.
Sounds like it could be worth a try.
True, but it's a long shot. Rachel might be your best way in.
Can you teach me to hunt?
Sure you wouldn't rather chop wood?
I was thinking more of hunting.
Then you're talking to the right man.
Can you teach me about hunting? Show me how to gut animals.
You slit the prey from the head toward the back. Then you pull the hide from the body with a jerk. With the right equipment, you can also remove animals' horns or teeth. Many hunters will sell you the necessary tools.
Hey,
Did I look like I wanted to talk to you?
whoa there. Someone shoot your dog?
Stupid and mouthy don't wash well round here. especially not from workers.
Do I look like a worker?
Maybe not. You ain't coated in shit. Now enough questions.
So you're in charge here?
Nah, they just like me to stand around looking pretty. I'm in charge of the fighters. They're the ones that beat the shit out of lazy workers. Now enough questions.
Seems to be working for you.
You must be new round here. I'll tell you what, since you're new in this pond, little fish, I'll cut you a break. But after that, your bones will get the breaks. You hearing me? See, folks around here do what I say. Now enough questions. I'm hungry. Bring me a haunch of fried meat from Rachel, the cook up by the smithy. Bit snooty, but a looker. The Don's a lucky man. Of course, with him in that temple all the time, she might need a bit of company.
You see why people don't stand up to Brogar?
A few bruises won't stop me.
You're lucky it wasn't stab wounds.
His armor and those fighters make him feel tougher than he is.
For you, maybe. For me, that's why I don't tangle with him.
Brogar is a big fish in a small pond.
And those are giant words. So big, I don't think you know what you're saying.
I know some people wouldn't have a problem if he disappeared.
I won't be responsible for what Brogar would do to you.
Let me worry about that.
You should worry. You're serious, aren't you?
What would I have to do to deal with him?
If you work for him, do what he tells you, and listen to everything he says. He'll let things slip. But you do know what you're proposing is dangerous.
About Brogar. You might cut his wood, but I don't want to end up as Brogar's lackey.
What does he want you to do?
He wants a haunch of meat.
Do it. Get it for him.
Why should I feed him?
If you want to get in with Brogar, bring him what he wants. Make him trust you, but show him you mean business. That you can be an asset to him, not another slavish camp worker. If he thinks you're clever and that you can't be bullied, he'll take notice.
Who knows about Brogar and wouldn't mind talking to me?
Talk to Lewis, one of my hunters. He knows a few things, more than you'd think. Start with him, see what he says.
How does Rachel feel about him?
She's soft. Brogar bullies her, and she's like that even though the Don's behind her.
I need some better armor.
You won't find it out here. There's only workers' clothes here.
Well, what about your armor? Where did that come from?
Armor for the hunters and fighters comes from the Don. But you won't get close to that if you're not accepted as one of us.
Right, so I've got to join the Don's gang first. All right. Where can I get workers' clothing?
Hawkins is your man. He's one of the Don's lieutenants. He's in charge of the workers.
I could help you.
Helpful sort, aren't you? You better not have landed me in it with Brogar. But then one's trouble is another's ease. Rachel needs this meat, so she'll be happy. Take note, sometimes it's better to take sides than end up in the middle.
Where do I find this Rachel?
She's usually cooking, in front of the temple.
About your hunting. What can you tell me about your hunters?
Well, there's Lewis. Haven't seen him for days. I expect he's under a rock in the swamp. Not even the swamp flies bother him when he's had a skinful. Doug should also be in the swamp. He should be hunting. But I haven't seen him for days either. And of course you know what delightful tasks I have to do.
I met a hunter called Jan. You haven't mentioned him.
He got himself posted as a guard on the road to Harbour Town. We never see him back here these days. That's another hunter less feeding the camp.
Can you teach me about hunting? Did you know Ricardo isn't at his post, at the swamp excavation site?
You telling tales now?
Just being helpful.
Well, unless you've got orders from me, stay out of my business.
Not right now.
Hey, you don't look like the rest of the Don's men.
Me? I'm the one the rest of them treats like dirt. Day in, day out, me and my workers try our best. And they need us, the bosses. But do they realize that? I wish they'd come and see what it's like. See if they like being eaten by swamp worms.
Are you in charge of the workers here?
Yeah, I'm supposed to oversee the workers at the excavations. The morale is so low that the men don't care anymore.
Why is it so bad here?
We keep losing men to the worms. And there are even worse fates, too. I'd rather be anywhere else. But we have to collect anything made of gold and take it to Beppo. I didn't expect to have to fight the monsters here. We're not trained for it. And that bastard Brogar should be protecting us. But do his fighters ever come and help? Do they, hell? Too drunk, most of them.
So the excavations have stopped.
They won't be happy when they find out. The Don's supposed to be a fair man, but Brogar isn't, and he should be protecting us. If any of my men were good at fighting, they'd have gone long ago. They'd be living it up in the bars and brothels of Harbour Town.
I can talk to Brogar for you.
Don't. It'll only cause trouble. We've tried everything. Brogar's not going to listen to you.
If I'm going to take action, I'll need better armor.
I can give you workers' clothes, that's all. And you'd have to pay. After all, you're not a worker. Why should I clothe you?
We're all stuck on this island in this swamp together. We might as well help each other. I'll see if I can get your workers back to work.
You won't. If I can't, what chance does a stranger have?
What can you tell me about Brogar?
Nothing. I'm not telling you anything. I don't want trouble.
You've already got trouble.
Yeah, but I'm not dead. I'd rather take my chances with the worms than get Brogar angry.
Brogar can't be that bad.
Brogar is all bad. Ask the hunters. They'll tell you what he's capable of.
Well, I offered to help. Are any of your workers around?
They should all be at the excavation site. But that doesn't mean they will be. You'll recognize them. They'll be wearing workers' clothes, even if they've got no intention of working. Uncontrollable, most of them. That's what the swamp and being ignored does to you.
You really have given up, haven't you?
Well, you would in my position. It's hopeless. Hopeless.
Hopeless isn't a word I use. How did you end up in charge of the workers?
Don't think I volunteered. No way. The Don pointed his finger at me and said, "You will oversee the excavations." And that was it.
So the Don doesn't take no for an answer. So you're not interested in changing anything?
Why are you so interested? And why do you care about us?
How did you end up in charge of the work?
Don't think I The Don pointed his... You...
So the Don... Maybe I can do something to help. How many excavation sites are there?
3. 1 east of the temple, and 2 right in the middle of the swamp. Look for the artifact crates. They mean you're in the right place.
Right.
Leave me be.